keyboard, right?
Yeah. Well, he you know, he's a anxiety-filled academic who is, you know, fighting very hard to push his very specific view of things, and he tries to silence other people that have opposing views. And the way he did it with Graham was really not cool. It was shitty. It was very shitty.
Yeah. No, I think he was. I think he had a lot of like interesting, legitimate things to say about like ancient Greeks and stuff like that. But like when we got to this stuff, it was just like, where did that fucking dude I was talking to 30 minutes ago go? He was just like, he was looking at this, and then all reason just flew out the window.
Yeah.
He was like, what do you mean they couldn't do this? They stick a stone in there, they spin it around like this, and then you can get this. It's really easily. How dare you say that the dynastic Egyptians weren't able to create these vases? I'm like, and I was like proposing other theories that like, Chris Dunn's, Jeffrey Drum's theories, and wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. And like,
we don't know. This is the thing.
That's the thing, exactly.
If Christopher Dunn had been teaching this in the 1800s and people had followed those theories and built upon them, and this was academic, like in universities, this was accepted, and this was what they were teaching, and they were studying this, then he would be saying that. They would all be saying that. There's ample evidence that he's got a good point. That Christopher Dunn, the model that he uses when he's describing how he thinks that the Great Pyramid of Giza was a power plant is fascinating. The number when he's talking about the ratios that you would need for the width of the walls, the surfaces, the way the things are made, that would all work.
Yep.
He's an engineer. Like he's not a moron. He knows what he's talking about. If this guy was teaching this stuff a long time ago and it was accepted by universities, that would be what we were talking about today. Would be speculating how they did it and what they were doing and what they were doing it for. And if we had known in the 1800s that we regularly travel into a comet storm and that it happens, I think it's every June and November, we pass through when we see it in the sky, we see meteor showers. You see, oh, look at the sky. Look at all the shooting stars. We're in a fucking shooting gallery. And occasionally one of those slams into the earth. Yeah. And when that stuff happens, we're fucked. And it's super likely that happened multiple times during human history. And it's super likely that that's why there's all these structures that nobody can explain. Right. That are somehow or another predate modern civilization. Like Göbekli Tepe. That fucked them all up. Because before Göbekli Tepe, they had this 6,000-year model. Yeah. Mesopotamia, Sumer, that's where it all started. Yeah. And now they're like, well, maybe it's Turkey. Yep. Maybe Turkey was the birthplace. I mean, Jimmy Corsetti's been talking about this a lot.
And I understand like where they're coming from. I can see their point of view from the academics. Not that I would act like them or like condone the way they act, but like when you spend your life, Flint, for example, like I think his parents were archaeologists, named him Flint because of archaeology, and like you spent your whole life mucking through these different places, excavating shit, digging up rocks or whatever he was doing, no one ever paid attention to you. And then you have Graham Hancock come in, who is like personally fascinated by these things and dedicating his life to writing and researching on his own, but not accredited academically. You can see like how those academic guys would be like super salty of somebody like that. I understand that.
Oh, I get it.
It's not an excuse for what he did, which I think was shitty. Right?
Yeah, it's not an excuse.
But like,
I understand their perspective, but it's ego-driven. Yeah. If we really were interested, you would take these heterodox scientists and you'd bring them in, and you would say, like, what do you do? Like, they're studying data. Guys like Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson, they're studying these things. And Graham was just in Iraq. He just was going over there to look at like ancient Sumerian stuff. He sent me some photos of his trip. He said it was fascinating. Wow. Yeah, these structures are incredible, and they don't really understand them. We really don't. We don't even know like who really built the Aztec temples. I was reading about Tenochtitlan. Like they found it. The Aztecs found that there, and they don't even know who built it. Right. There's a bunch of those things. They're like a previous civilization existed in the same place, fascinating discoveries, figured out how to do agriculture, figured out how to make grids in cities and make these incredible stone structures that are cosmologically connected somehow. And then they went away. Yeah. Like all over the world. Over the world. There's like people reinvent civilization in the places where these ancient structures exist and even build upon them. They build over them. Yeah. I think there's probably so much shit that people were able to do in antiquity and way before that would seem like magic to us today. Like kind of like getting back to what we were talking about with our senses that we don't really have today, that probably have atrophied over millennia.
like your fart theory, which is amazing. You remember your fart theory?
Oh, how's that going again?
Imagine if somebody farted and you didn't have a nose, and you
Right.
haven't developed this nose that enables you to survive and smell predators.
Right, you'd have
smell
no
a
idea.
fire. You would have no idea you're sitting there bathing in somebody's fart.
Right.
So like dogs and cats, when they go into weird houses and they notice like some sort of weird energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people describe energy in a house like this feels off. Like, what is that? Like, is there something that really is there that we just don't have the organs anymore to detect, or something in our brain that is atrophied over thousands of years that have stopped us being able to detect this stuff?
Well, think about how birds can figure out a way to travel like super accurately through the sky, but drawn by the magnetic force of the Earth.
Yeah.
They have somehow or another they can figure out a way to navigate with the Earth's magnetic field. We don't even understand it, but they do it. They migrate successfully every year, and we know they do it.
Yeah,
that's a sense that they have that we don't have. Like, it's probably a fucking shit ton of. There's probably a bunch of things going on in the world that we're not interacting with because we don't have the senses for.
Right. Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I've been like really interested in lately is this. I mean, people talk about this ability to like download information, like in the UFO world, you know, like people talk about, oh, I got this from a download or something like that. I'm talking about like, I have an antenna, I can connect to something. But like, for me, like that connected, when I first heard about people talking about that, I always thought that was like the muse, you know, like you have this sort of antenna in your head that connects you to creativity and gives you the ability to just create shit out of thin air, you know? And I feel like with people I've observed over my lifetime, I feel like that peaks at an early age, right? Before you get older and before you start the burden of the responsibilities of life and all these mundane things in your life start to compile on, and you trade your dreams for securities, that spark starts to go away, you know? And like that could easily be described as something magical if it was way more powerful thousands of years ago. Like I really noticed this the other day. So I was hanging out with Kirk, the lead guitarist for Metallica, and he was, for some reason, I don't know why, but he likes my show, and we were just like,
you got a great show.
We were talking. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's weird. I feel like an imposter. And,
that's good. That's why you're good at it.
But he loves this stuff. The dude's like, you know, he's in his 60s, like early 60s, and he's fucking obsessed with all of these topics that you cover, I cover, a lot of people cover, and he's like, at the same time, the dude is like got this crazy spark where he's so inspired to do shit and like still creating new music and like coming up with new riffs and wanting to do more things, where like I've never met a dude like that who's had so much success, toured everywhere for the last 40 years, being the #1 metal band in the world, basically, and still like wanting to learn stuff. The dude's trying to translate ancient Greek music for his guitar and trying to figure out how to play this stuff. He can't figure it out. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, I think this wasn't recreational. He's like, I think this music was magical. He's like, I think they were performing magic. He thinks it was like religious, medical rites they were performing with music. It wasn't supposed to be entertainment back in the day.
Well, there is this weird connection with music and psychedelics where music can sort of it changes the trip. Like if you listen to, do you know what Icaros are?
No.
Icaros are these, hook it up, Jamie. Icaros are these South American songs that they play while you're doing ayahuasca. And if you do DMT and listen to these things, they take over the trip. And the song, the trip moves with the song in harmony. Like, exactly. It's not like the trip is chaotic, and you hear the songs, and these songs are like a technology to move the trip. It's really fascinating because you listen to the songs and you're like, well, what are these things? Like, what are they trying to do with these things? They sound kind of weird, but when you listen to these songs while you're tripping, it makes the trip dance. It makes the geometric pattern. So you are lying on the floor. It's Costa Rica.
In the jungle.
You're lying on a yoga mat in the jungle with a bunch of 40-year-old ladies with boob jobs trying to get their life together.
Tech entrepreneurs,
Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
And you just threw up. You have horrible diarrhea. And this trip just starts coming on.
I think I just found Jesus.
Give me a little more, something that with like a little more beat to it. I got some on my phone.
I heard the one that you had Luke on recently, Luke Caverns.
He's great.
He had a great little clip that he played.
Here we go. This is my favorite one. They dance. They dance to this song while you're tripping.
Balls.
The psychedelic experience dances to this song.
Oh.
When you're lying there with your eyes closed.
That's wild.
And the whole time it's like synchronized together, and the whole time it's doing it's like a method for showing you more things.
Yeah.
And as you go through it with the music, there's something comforting in the pattern of the music, and the way it dances to the music that allows you to relax and unveils more and more of itself. It's very trippy, and the fact that these guys figured this out. How did you figure this out?
Yeah, man. There's something there.
Your friend is probably right. The Metallica guy's probably right.
Yeah.
That music probably synchronized with the trips. Like when they were doing the Eleusinian Mysteries.
That's what
stuff.
When I went to their concert in Tampa the other day, and I was walking in, it made me regret not going to more concerts when I was younger. But like being in that stadium, the Bucks Stadium, where there was 90,000 people, every seat in that arena was full.
And here,
Well, it goes black.
There it is.
A lightning strike
Dude,
happens here.
it
Look
is
at this.
insane.
Look at this. Lightning strike.
They caused an
happens at the
earthquake.
They're actually, super dangerous, but that was badass.
That is
Watch
fucking
this.
insane. Ride the lightning, bitch.
That's so dangerous.
Dude, being there with 90,000 people, the light, the thundering electric guitars, and the fire, the pyrotechnics, and all those people like focusing, like all 90,000 people, every atom in their body is vibrating at the same frequency.
Yeah.
And it just like it's like magic that
Yeah.
penetrates every fiber of your being. And if I was a dude from 2,000 years ago and took a time machine to that Metallica concert, those dudes are gods.
Right.
They're fucking gods. I think that's what the
Right.
Eleusinian Mysteries probably was.
Well, they probably had music that enhanced the trip. It probably guided the trip. They probably learned how to do it while they were tripping.
Mm-hmm.
Like they figured out so much. They figured out democracy. They started so much of what we think of as like Western government.
Yeah.
And
The
a lot
scientific
of
method,
Yeah.
democracy, all this stuff.
tripping balls. And then
this-
the Romans came along and said, stop.
Yep.
We're here to make slaves out of you fucking people. We don't want you tripping.
Right. Yeah, that was they killed Eleusis in like what 400 AD, I think.
Well, they did exactly the same things the Nixon administration did to psychedelics in this country. They're like, oh, this is a problem. When they were turning everything Schedule 1 to try to stop the anti-war movement and the civil rights movement, that's the exact same thing. Like the governments, when they get to a certain position of power, they're not representing the people anymore. Now they're the fucking jackbooted thugs that tell you what you can and can't do based on how inconvenient it is for you to be doing that for them running things.
Right. Yeah. It's terrible. It's the opposite of what it should be. It's the opposite of what got. It's the opposite of what got us here, I think, bro.
Yes. We're too big now. There's too many of us. That's
Right.
part of the problem. It's like you want to govern 330 million people plus Mexicans. Good luck.
I had this dude on my show. Speaking of the the strife between the academics and the self-taught online people, influencers, whatever you want to call them. This dude was he was kicked out of his university first of all, he wrote a dissertation on ancient pharmacy, the Roman pharmacy and Greek pharmacy. And it was a dissertation based on this guy named Galen, who was like the Surgeon General of ancient Rome. And he had a chapter in his dissertation, his PhD dissertation, about recreational drugs in Rome. And the head of the department reviewed his dissertation and said, everything looks great, delete the section on recreational drugs in ancient Rome. So he's like, okay, why? They're like, because the Romans wouldn't do such a thing. So he's like, okay. He deleted it and then submitted it, got his PhD, and then wrote a book based on that part of the dissertation that he left out, which the book was called The Chemical Muse. And I learned about this from Hamilton Morris. He did a podcast with the dude first. And I read that book. And, you know, he was basically making the case that drugs were ubiquitous in antiquity during the Roman times. Like, they were being used for everything because people were not dying from old age. They were dying from war, hand-to-hand combat, famine, plague.
Infection.
All these things. Infection. Yeah. So, like, people were constantly using drugs. And there was a law in ancient Rome that he said there was only one law when it came to using drugs. And that was that you were not allowed to kill people with drugs. You were not allowed to murder people, which is why Marcus Aurelius was using this drug compound called a theriac. And the theriac was a concoction of like 11 different North African vipers, their flesh and their venom, combined with opium and all kinds of like bodily fluids. And he was using this as like a performance enhancing drug.
Whoa.
Because people were trying to assassinate him with poisons. That's how they assassinated people. They were using scorpions, poisons, arrows, all different kinds of weird things to sneak in and kill him. So he was drinking this theriac to build up his immune system against the against the venoms. And dude, this dude Galen, who wrote about this shit, he was talking about he was Marcus Aurelius' physician. And he was like, Marcus Aurelius, it's like, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting annoying. I keep having to up his opium dose. He keeps using more and more fucking opium. I can't get him off of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so Galen, the physician, the Surgeon General of the Roman Empire, under Marcus Aurelius, and Nero, I think, basically equates to 10% of all the Greek literature from antiquity. 10% of it is medical. And this dude that wrote this dissertation, based it all off Galen, is talking about all these drug compounds that are used in all the literature. So what he does is he looks at all the ancient literature from Homer to, you know, like 800 to like the time that Beowulf was written, basically, AD. And he's like finding all of this evidence of crazy drug use. And he has this crazy theory also that I don't know if it's crazy. I don't know.